I help, Commander?
Hey, Commander, something I can do for you? Does this decision we made about uncertified contracts satisfy your concerns? My concerns won't be satisfied until our creditors have been paid and the loan sharks are off our backs. But this is a step in the right direction, and that makes me happy. I'm not blind to the risks that uncertified contracts entail, by the way. I mean, I know that what we're doing is dangerous, but it's the best chance we got to dig ourselves out of this hole. What can you tell me about navigation? I'm just going to go ahead and skip over all this tutorial stuff. Thanks. I'm collecting stories about the crew. Tell me something about yourself. Well, I'm from a noble family like you. We're old money, made our fortune out in Razzlehog, then repatriated to the Taurian Concordat. That's where I grew up. I'm not sure if this is the kind of stuff you were hoping to hear, but we can talk about whatever. I'm not shy. Where in Concordat are you from? I grew up in New Vandenberg. It's a nice enough place, I suppose. Do you like birds? Sure, I guess. Then you'd like New Vandenberg. It's basically one big aviary. Something like 2/3 of the native fauna has feathers, flutters in the wind, and splatters excrement across every available surface. Naturally, the original colonists adopted the feathery little monsters into the culture, and those of us that came after were kind of stuck with it. Statues, fountains, murals, you name it. Just a giant, feathery pile of screeching alien birds. If the system had a motto, it would be Squawk. That's adorable. Maybe if I hadn't grown up in it. Where'd you learn to pilot a Leopard anyway? The Taurian Naval Institute on New Vandenberg, well, among other places. It's a big campus, low-gravity training station orbiting along Puck was my second home for a time. T&I flight training isn't usually open to civilians, but my parents had good credit back then, and they could name-drop Protector Calderon, who is, Thomas Calderon succeeded his mother, Zarantha Calderon, as Protector of the Taurian Concordat. Oh, makes sense. House Calderon leaders are known for their pragmatism and sound judgment. Thomas is no exception. That'd get you pretty far in the Concordat, for a while anyway. The other cadets in my class weren't especially happy sharing air with a civvy, but they didn't say much. I was nobility and they weren't. Everyone sort of kept at me at arm's length, so I had plenty of time to concentrate on my studies. What can you tell me about House Meyer? You're looking at it. My parents are both gone, blood cancer and heart disease respectively, both treatable, but they were out of money at that point, so into the ground they went. Ditto my brother David, who ran off to serve the Third Succession War and never came back. It's a rough break. It is what it is. To be perfectly honest, I was never really all that close to any of them. David was 13 years older than me and had a foot out the door before I turned 3, and my parents, well, they raised me by proxy in the traditional noble fashion. There's no real bond there, even when I was young. None of this is to say that my folks were bad people. They weren't. They were just doing what they knew. Their upbringing had been outsourced, just like mine was. Your family came from Rassahog? It was a long time ago, but yeah, as my parents told it, we were landowners in Palm de Terre. It's an agricultural world, sort of the breadbasket of the Draconis Combine. And yes, I know that Palm de Terre means potato. My ancestors came from the planet Potato. It took some time for me to accept that, but hey, here we are. Anyway, moving on, House Meyer's holdings were meager, but the value of the land was astronomical. For minor nobility, we were really very wealthy. And then the Third Succession War broke out, and political rhetoric got ugly. House Meyer didn't want a single part of what was happening, so my ancestors emptied their accounts and ran. I'd like to talk about something else. I'll gotta get back to it. Talk to you later, Sister Meyer.
I'll be here if you need me.
There, Matt. This is probably the area that we can go in. Detroit. Alloway, which has a market, or they're all half skull challenges, and then Bellerophon. Okay. That's as far as I can zoom out. Okay. So now this is the place we just left. Another minor house. Okay, so 3 major houses up north. And then our lesser houses down here at the south. And then uncontested space, which I suppose is the periphery area. And that's the area we can currently go. No, I really don't want to travel, but thank you. McBay, let's talk to Yang. He's gonna complain. Hey boss, welcome to the McBay. My own little piece of heaven right here on the ship. Something I can help you with? On an assessment on the Leopard. How much trouble are we in? Dunno, I mean we're doing okay for the moment, but give it a few months, maybe a year, you know how it goes. Eventually everything falls apart. Maybe our drive system will go out, maybe some debris will perforate the hull, who knows? But on that day we're going to need to be able to cover repair costs, and if we can't, well, that'll be that. Okay, a few questions about the mech bay? No, I don't. Nope, that's enough. Tell me a little about yourself. How'd you wind up on this crew? That's a long story, boss. Shortest version I can give you. I signed on after I served my term in the Third Succession War, fighting for the Capellan Confederation. If you want to know more, you can ask whatever you want. Otherwise, let's get back to talking shop. Well, where are you from? Ryant in the Confederation. You may have heard about our claim to fame, the Crowley Lizard Cow. An edible reptilian indigenous to the planet Bryant. The meat of the Crowley Lizard Cow is considered a delicacy, and it's one of Bryant's few planetary exports. Oh, well, trust me, they're delicious. Anyways, as the story goes, Bryant was a really nice place, once a tourist spot. Big with hikers and fishing enthusiasts. Pale blue skies, emerald green seas, and a booming agricultural business. You know, the works. I never knew it that way, though. Stefan Amaris got a couple centuries before I was born, and well, that was that. What did he do to it? Oh, he has so much information. The usurper. Usurper. Better super. As president of the Rimworld's Republic, Stefan Amaris expanded the Republican army and replaced Republican agents in key positions throughout the Star League. He fostered a close relationship with Richard Cameron while the First Lord was in his minority. When Cameron came of age, Amaris guided him toward policies that would move Alexander Kerensky's SLDF away from Terra and place Republican forces there instead. With these preparations in place, Stefan Amaris murdered Richard Cameron on December 27th, 2766, and declared himself First Lord, beginning the Amaris Civil War. Kerensky raised the Rimworld's Republic and returned to Terra to defeat Amaris' force and capture him. Stefan Amaris was executed by firing squad in 2779. His remains were donated to the medical school of the University of New Samarkand. Neat. As the story goes, Bryant used to have these enormous orbital mirrors, storm inhibitors they called them. The Star League put them in place. When Amaris took the system in his civil war, he had his troops use them for target practice. Without these mirrors, Bryant reverted to its natural state, a miserable little ball of windblown dirt, actively hostile to human life. By the time I came along, the only places where people could live in relative safety were the planet's poles. Of course, you can't fit a planet's entire population into a handful of cities and its poles. There isn't enough space, no matter how far down you dig or how tall you build. A lot of people, mostly the poor, died in the early days. There's still a lot of overcrowding in Bryant's cities, even now. Tell me about your... Oh, that's my childhood home in a nutshell. Way too many people jammed into a tiny claustrophobic space, with nowhere to go but off-planet. I cleared out of there as fast as I could and never looked back. Gotta admit, though, I do miss the taste of lizard cow. Tell me about your time in the military. Who'd you serve with? Second St. Ives Lancers, 1st Battalion under Major Ling. Well-connected and well-financed regiment, the Lancers operated along the Capellan Confederation's rimward quarter, fending off pirates and conducting raids into the Free Worlds League. In 3025, its 3 battalions are allocated to the defense of St. Ives Maladar and St. Loris. We saw more action than most. The arm is a souvenir of my time in the service. I lost the original back in 3010 in St. Loris. You know, when we first arrived at St. Loris, I love the place. It's an agricultural world, sort of a breadbasket for the neighboring systems. Green fields, rolling hills, you get the picture. We just walked out of hell on Kittery, and the Federates drove us out in 05 with our tails between our legs. So it looked like paradise to us. I remember kicking back in the mech bay, my feet prepped up in an engine block, sipping on a snifter of ambergris vermouth. Ambergris vermouth is red and usually found in tiny bottles in port shops. Getting larger bottles takes connections. Getting a crate of it, well, not a bad way to spend a sunny afternoon. Anyway, it turned out the Federated Sons weren't done with us yet. We barely a month into our deployment when they sent the City Hussars to burn us out. I'm sure that there were sound strategic reasons for the House Davian to want St. Loris, but it sure felt personal to me. Long story short, one of the scouts managed to slip through our perimeter and hit my mech bay. I was tinkering around in a Centurion's custom-made rumble seat at the time. Being surrounded by all that army is the only reason I made it out alive. Still, I didn't make it out unscathed. I lost two of my favorite assistants, my own right arm. And I got this ugly thing grafted to me as a reminder. And yet here I am, doing mercenary work for a living. Some people never learn, huh? Why'd you leave the Compelling Confederation? After my tour duty was up, you mean? I don't know, it was just time for a change. Besides, the place wasn't for me anymore in a way. It never really was. I learned a lot from my time in the service. Got a first-hand view of the elitist bullshit that saturates Capellan culture, how it rewards highborn idiots at the common people's expense. Speaking as a thoroughly common man, that didn't sit right with me. When my tour was over, I walked away and never looked back. You'll never really get away from the aristocracy, Yang. Hell, I was born a noble. Yeah, but you're a competent noble, and you aren't afraid to get your hands dirty. At the end of the day, that's all I really care about. I wonder how many times I watched talented engineers get passed over for promotion so some idiot with a title could advance. Too many to count. For what it's worth, I'm glad you walked away. You brought my mech back from the brink more than once. Way more than once, if memory serves. Still, I appreciate the kind words, and for what it's worth, I'm happy to be here. With this crew, going career military would have been an enormous mistake. In your position, I probably would have done the same. Let's talk about something else. By something else, I mean nothing. I'm done. Goodbye, gang. Okay, let's... this button. Or that button. Refit. Oh gosh, repair. AC2 and a medium laser. Okay, do you have an extra AC2? And I do have an extra medium laser. Outstanding. What else is there? Is that it for ammo? Yeah, okay, that's it. Okay. Cool, it's back into running order. 30, 45... This is a moderately long-range mech. Wait. 40... Let's swap 5 armor over to the front torso. And confirm. Repair mech, and then install the stuff. Modify armor costs me nothing. Cool. Moving the components doesn't cost me anything. So 17 days, about 55,000 C-bills. Cool. We'll do that one first, I think. Repair. Oh, no. We'll do the spider first. 2 days. Manage tasks. Spider first. There we go. Cool. And then blackjack after that. So we'll get these 4 mechs up and running. I didn't get any salvage from that last one, so I don't have... I actually have no idea how much salvage I got, or how much of this is salvage from the last mission. Okay. Went through the mech base, navigation, and captain's quarters, barracks. Acquire roster. I am out of the fight for a bit, so we're going to end up taking everyone else.
Waiting for orders.
Waiting for orders.
You are stand still. I would love to have got some piloting.
I hear ya.
Oh yeah, I want sensors on you, sensor lock on you.
Orders.
I'd love to have piloting on you, Medusa. Decker, what do you have? Oh, sensor lock and piloting would be cool.
Yeah.
You got a lot of XP.
Waiting for orders.
Standing.
Orders.
Oh, Decker's
Waiting
got a lot of
for orders.
XP too. Okay, because he doesn't have one. Give me sensor lock. Confirm. Reduce, do evasive movement for now. Confirm. Confirm. Okay. Like, that's it for mech experience, mech warrior experience. Darius. I was gonna see you at ops, Mert. Can I do something for you? I would like to know more about our debt situation. Yeah, sure, that's fair. I'm glad you're taking an interest. I've got time to get into the nuts and bolts of it if you do. What do you want to know? Remember when we took out so many loans in the first place? How much time you got? I mean, we've been hit with 1,000 expenses since we were forced to flee Cormadir. But I guess you're mostly interested in the big ticket items. Well, first and foremost, there's the Leopard. We still owe a lot of money on this ship, and losing her isn't an option. Then you got all the assorted fallout from our impromptu trip across the frontier, jump ship passage, docking fees, miscellaneous travel expenses, all paid for on credit as if we had a choice. There's more that I get into, the loan we took out to set up Markham's family, etc., etc. But that'd be gilding the lily at this point. The fact is, we're in a lot of trouble with a lot of lenders, but hey, we're mercenaries. We live for trouble. Who are we in debt to exactly? I want names. I would go to the top three. First you got Blue Horizon. That's the big commercial bank on Lyerton. Lyerton? Yep, they're the ones that own the lease on this ship. Then there's the Injury Consortium. They've got people everywhere, but they're based somewhere in Merrick space. We borrowed from one of their associates to make the jump from Cormadir on the day of the coup. Finally, you've got Lockdown Lending. They're a frontier outfit from Haster, and they're about as crooked as they come. Now, I wouldn't normally do business with an outfit like the Double L, but we don't have a choice. They made a deal with Blue Horizon to buy half our debt, so that's the big three. A commercial bank, shadowy financial consortium, and a bunch of leg breakers in cheap suits, and each of them is dangerous in its own way. Yep, I'm bored now. Got some questions about running this company. Oh, no I don't. I'm out. Got a few minutes to chat. I'd like to catch up. Yeah, sure, I've got time to talk. Before any of this started, you worked in the Irano Royal Guard. Tell me about it. It was more than just a deployment, it was a full campaign. High Lord Tamati gave us a job back in 19. We were supposed to be assisting the Royal Guard to round up and eliminate a pirate clan on Fjaldr. As Fjaldr was originally a Capellan colony world lost in the Succession Wars, is a bleak ice planet swept constantly by howling winds and blowing snow. The original colony was largely underground, built in the sides of deep kilometer-wide shafts that breach the ice and that envelopes this world. Fjaldr survives in its rich mineral resources and its position as a well-connected hub world near the inner sphere. Commander Markham thought it'd be fine. The easy money turned out to be anything but. We lost a dozen mech warriors in the 3 months of the Fjaldr campaign, had to hose them out of their cockpits. Would have been more if it wasn't for Sir Raju. He saved our people's asses on more than one occasion. Went out of his way to do it, and the thing is, he didn't have to. We weren't under his protection, we were the hired help. A lot of people in Master's position would have used us as cannon fodder, but that wasn't his way. He treated us as if we were his own. He was a good man, Mert. As good as they come. So about yourself, Darius, where are you from? I grew up in Nassau Heights. It's one of the HAB stations orbiting Artru. 30 decks of economic stratification, with the corporate suits on the upper decks and everyone else crammed into the lower ones. My old man was a dockhand. We lived on deck 28, 2 levels up from the bottom, with the other station maintenance personnel. 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, my dad would load and unload cargo shuttles, vacuum-sealed quiller and nutrient paste for people like us, and luxury goods for the suits upstairs. Quiller is a bioengineered crop that serves as the staple foodstuff of the inner sphere. Quiller looks like an ordinary grain, but grows twice the size of Terran corn, and can be textured and flavored to mimic a wide variety of fruits, grains, and vegetables. The old man must have unloaded thousands of cases of Cassildan eel roe, plump succulent eggs the size of melon balls. Never got to taste any though. Only one of those tins would have cost him a half a year's wages. An aquatic world famed for its bountiful deadly oceans, Casilda's human population is clustered on volcanic island chains around the equator, while the oceans are ruled by a vast array of native predatory lifeforms. Casildan seafood is sought as a delicacy throughout the rimward periphery. Anyway, I don't want to saddle you with my life story. Suffice to say, I got an eyeful of what I didn't want to be on Nasu Heights, and I did what I had to do to change my circumstances. By the age of 16, I struck out on my own. I left that station with a handful of skills, an enormous load of contacts, and a rucksack full of that expensive caviar. And once I made it off Nasu Heights, I never ever looked back. Thanks for the chat, Darius.
You know where to find me.
Cool. Probably nothing I need here. Hiring hall. Pizza. Need in more MRB for pizza.
Commander?
I don't have enough MRB for pizza.
Waiting for orders.
Or Starbucks.
Yeah?
I can listen to the radio.
Receiving you.
Okay. Back to the store. Any plus things? I don't see any plus things. Locust and a spider part. Woo! I don't need any of that. Consider contracts. This is straightforward. Okay, so Seek Destroy, 190,000 max payout, max salvage 2 over 10, max rep plus 8. Oh, the merit reputation of Magistrate Canopus. Our intelligence confirms that there's a lance of pirate military units operating on Bellerophon within a region we control. All Canopian operations are at risk as long as this lance is allowed to move unimpeded. Hunt down the enemy lance and defeat it. Eliminate it. Okay, just a single lance. That's pretty straightforward. Straightforward battle, commander. Fighting military lance in the Bach weather like this should be no challenge at all. Okay, negotiate. What do I want? I think I want to build up a bunch of money early. I'm not worried about salvage on these early missions as much. That's probably just going to be light cruddy mechs. Balanced violence, scoured wasteland with little vegetation and little water. The extreme heat makes it more difficult for mechs to heat sinks. Fields of crystalline mineral deposits interfere with targeting systems, making it harder to shoot into them as well as shoot out of them. Your objective is to engage and defeat a lance of enemy units. This is a stand-up fight, so frontline combat units are recommended. I'll take a little bit of rep for this. Not to worry, 4 pieces of salvage should be fine. I can just grab the 1 piece of new mech or plus item as I got it, as I can find it. Accept it as is. And then... Okay. Finish the first one. Clock check will be done in 16 days. Laser show! Cool. Jumping... we jump in before we jump into another jump ship. Shakedown. You're on the Leopard's Bridge with Sumair, Yang, and Darius for the daily staff briefing. Darius says, we've received 3 messages from the banks. Loan sharks, Sumair cuts in. From the people who are financing us, Darius continues. They're considering rewriting the terms of our loans so it'll be easier to seize this ship if we miss a payment. As usual, they're only doing this because they believe we can't fight it in court. Sweet talk the banks, ignore the messages, or educate the banks about their mistake. Well, if I know how, educate the banks about their mistakes. I'll deal with it, you say. Later you record a response. In it you sternly remind your lien holders that as a financial institutions operating on Detroit 3, they must abide by local contract law. You even cite the relevant sections of legal code from memory. Then you point out that, as you've kept records of all payments and correspondence concerning the loans, you'll be able to demonstrate in court that their proposed revisions to the agreed-upon terms will represent such a gross violation of the law, you would undoubtedly be awarded a second dropship at the bank's expense. Once the camera is off, Smyre says there's no way they push you on this. Too bad. I like to see the loan sharks grovel. I gained the following tag. Loan status fair. The company's credit is currently rated as fair by the banks financing the Leopard, which should at least deter them away from sending bounty hunters after you. That's nice. Oh, let us continue on. 1, 0. Cool, now we're in orbit. I think we can get the blackjack back. I'd rather not run the Locust. No, not yet. Yeah, 7 days. We can wait a week. Financial report. So I won't hit my financial report. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and
I wrapped up that job you asked for, Commander.
perfect. Yang. Launch contract. Lance must not be empty. Crazy thought that. Let's work down the list. Okay. Medusa. Who's one of my faster mechs? Glitch. I want you in one of the longer range mechs. I want Decker. Decker, you get the spider. I'm thinking Medusa in the Vindicator. Right, this is evasive movement. Okay, yeah. And then Behemoth and the Shadowhawk. Yeah, these are both 45-ton mechs. There's no real trade-off between the two. Check spider. Alright. Drop tonnage. Total tonnage of the mechs currently assigned to this Lance role. The higher contract's difficulty rating, the more drop tonnage is recommended. Lower half difficulty, I think we'll be alright. Details, same old, same old. Okay. Deploy. Long-range weapons. The BPC and LRM suffer an aiming penalty when fired at short-range targets. Yes. Very bad. Shoot far guns at far targets. Alright. Lance versus Lance. And they should all be in shoddy condition, and they're all light mechs, and so we should be able to walk through this without losing. I'm hoping to walk out of this without losing any structure, but hashtag the dream. Same old stuff. Objective: destroy the pirate Lance. Okay. Here's our light mechs round until its final round phase. You can take the action next round's first phase, effectively moving twice in a row. Yeah, that's good. Begin mission.
Command interface initiated.
We've got the commander right out in the open. These guys are amateurs. Got eyes on them. Take them out. Good hunting, Commander. Oliver out. Cool. Decker. How far away are they? Move you about here.
Roger
See
that.
if we can get... Oh right, I can't sensor lock after he sprints, so it's totally irrelevant. Okay, I didn't get any sensor traces.
On my way.
Okay. Okay.
Got it.
Okay, no sensor traces yet.
Commander,
Where are they? Let's see here. Move. Okay, you can still move up to here. Mostly just want sensor range. Perfect.
Time to
There's a
earn our money.
contact. And sensor lock. Yes. 100%. Give me vision
Got a
on that
lock.
guy. What are you? You are a Jenner.
Let's go, let's go.
Oh, that's right.
Sensor showing a new hostile.
Reserve. Let them continue moving up. Okay, perfect. Decker.
Orders.
Sensor lock. The Locust?
I've got a sensor lock.
Cool, got rid of 2 of its evasion. He just have very, very poor armor. Okay. Nope, not that.
Yes,
Behemoth.
Commander.
Yep.
Waiting on you, Commander.
So anyway, I look at this. I can move. Where was it? There's 2 evasion, but no cover. Gives me a clear line of sight, and then what are my odds? Out of range on the medium lasers. The AC2's out of 55. That's fine. That should be okay. Knock out one of those. I'd rather the Shadowhawk and the Vindicator had better odds of hitting. It's alright. It's okay.
That would be a miss.
Yeah, it would be a miss.
Commander.
Okay, so I move you here. Fire with not the PPC. Keeps you in cover, gives you 2 evasion, and should do a reasonable amount of damage. This guy, not the medium laser. Fire everything else.
Locked on target.
Wow!
Waiting for orders.
No left arm for you. Okay. All of the DACA. Yeah, let's fire
Firing
everything.
full
It's just a Lance of Axe. That should be about 20. Shouldn't have anything spectacular to go through as long as I just keep shooting. Get out of here, Locust. He's got missiles. What a jerk. What is this? I don't remember what this is. Oh, it's right here. Okay, guarded. Range attacks front and side is not stacked with cover. Okay. That's why I didn't quite kill him. Oop.
Yes,
Decker.
Commander.
Melee. Where are the other mechs? Actually, no, Decker, you reserve. Run around and maybe shoot Decker. Nope, he won't shoot Decker. He'll shoot the Shadowhawk. Perfect. Exactly what I want.
Reporting. Minimal damage.
Alright. Now
Good to
Decker
go.
can continue on scouting
Copy that.
and sensor lock the chevrons off of this guy. They're not giving up very much firepower with 2 medium lasers.
What's up, boss?
He's not guarded. And she has advantages if she stands still. Can't split fire, but I will shoot everything at you. Those aren't great odds.
Affirmative.
Dang it. Come on. Okay. Anything with the AC hit.
What do you need?
Medusa, you need to keep running around. Can I get... let's direct fire on both. Let's do that. What are my odds here? 65, 45, 60. That's okay. This guy. What is contributing to my percentages to hit? Into mineral field. Oh, okay. That's why it's so awful.
Roger.
Try my darndest, dang it. Hit, hit. Sweet.
Inflicted some heavy damage.
So being a light mech, he'll probably be dead before...
What can I do for ya?
Let's find that happy medium. Does that give you... Does this give you... Yes, that one gives you an
I
evasive
read you,
shove.
Commander. Moving out.
Might make her a slightly more enticing target. Fire everything. Sweet! Got rid of one of the arms. Enemy turn. That locust moves up. And shoots down on... Yep. Whatever.
Barely hit, Commander.
Yeah. Between all of her buffs, she's fine.
Ready for orders.
Fitty fitty. Not much of a choice. Those mineral fields are in the way. Just keep shooting it until it goes away. Pew pew. Left leg destroyed. Sweet. And so he fell down. But he'll be able to stand up. That's okay. He's not going anywhere fast. Oh, never mind, he jumped. But that takes him out of the mineral field. Is his back to me? Is that because he's out of front armor? Yeah, that makes sense. Oops.
Good to go.
Oh, okay. 50-50 is as good as I'm going to get. Let's do that. Oh, overheat. Okay, cool. That's just one of the lasers anyways. It'll all be left side damage, so it'll blow off the arm, the torso, and maybe center torso? Yeah, straight to the center torso. Oh, and left arm, and left torso. Okay.
Did you see that? Did you see it?
I saw it. That's pretty intense.
Receiving you.
We just jump straight into attack. No, I haven't used any precision strikes. You. CT. That's much, much better. Target move, target size. Okay. I want to fire everything at it.
Taking the shot.
Oh, one shot. Feels good.
Hostile removed.
Milk run, just as we expected. Good work, Commander. Yeah, I know, compared to the other two missions, that was super easy. Alright! I think that is what we're going to call it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and take it easy. I'll see you next time.